go.
Train is running.
And I'll say Evan.
That's good. You're score, but I don't have to.
It's a win.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Finstock. Today on the Finstock Sports Network, I'm your host, Bobby Finstock. That's the one and only Fish Tank Hank. And we're back for another great show talking our beloved Miami Dolphins. Fish Tank, sir, how the heck are you?
I'm fired up about the season, bro. I have the same concerns, and I hate to say it, but I have the same concerns that I've had over and over, year after year. You know what it is. And I really hope that this year is the year that it gets fixed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're looking at possibly losing another guy that's not coming in and things like that. And, that's just, sitting in the back of my head. You know what I mean? We want guys that want to come in. We want guys that want to be here.
Who are you talking about specifically?
Specifically, I'm talking about Connor Williams. I understand he wants to get his money and get paid, but before he came to Miami, he hadn't really done that much to get paid that much, and that's why he was on a friendly contract in the first place. Now that he stepped up for 1 year, it's pay me immediately. I understand why he wants to get paid, and I can accept that. But at the same time, you play your contract, you come into OTAs, you come in and do what you're supposed to do. You don't beef around about it. Just be a professional and let your agent handle the rest. That's all I'm saying. That's what agents are for. Let them handle it. And by not coming to OTAs, that's just hurting you and the team.
So what you're talking about, and there's so much to talk about, which is crazy for Dolphins, especially at this point in the off season. We're getting close. They are at OTAs. They are in training camp. But there's a lot of news for Miami Dolphins, despite it being where it is. The first, of course, the main news is that we are officially on Dalvin Cook watch. We are playing the waiting game. We're waiting to see what happens there. We're going to touch on that. But what you're discussing is the news that center Connor Williams, who we signed last season to play center, a lot of people were scratching their heads, you and I especially. They moved him from left guard, which he was the top 11th ranked guard with the Cowboys. However, he was ranked high in penalties. He did get benched in Dallas for playing guard, even though he was the 11th best guard. Miami signs him, moves him to center in a head-scratching move. He never played center. He played center for a couple preseason games, I think, in Dallas, but they didn't do it. But does it there and becomes one of the top 5 offensive centers in football. So he comes out this offseason, a year later, and says, hey, look, I'm going into my second year, and I want to be paid like the top 5 off center in football. So Which, you know what? Hey, I won't bother anybody's wallets. Hey, that's your money. You have a right to say if you think you've earned something.
Yeah. I
But
totally
I
agree, Bobby. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the money situation is. And I agree. I understand why he wants to get paid. However,
yeah, and I will say this, and it's not a knock or a disagree, not really a disagree. Well, it is kind of, I guess. So what I'll say with Backing Up Binge podcast, who's tuning in, Evans tuning in, Ender, everyone tune in again. Whether you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, we appreciate you. If you're on any of those other platforms, come over to YouTube when you can, and smash that subscribe button or subscribe to where you're at. We appreciate you for watching on Fitz Talk today on the Fitz Talk Sports Network. But Back It Up Binge podcast, he says, I agree with you, Hank. Live up to your commitment. You signed it. Play it out. The only thing I would say with that is that, players sign 2-year contracts all the time, even a year contract or a 5-year contract with a team. And a lot of times people will tell the player, hey, you made that commitment, sign it, you play it out. You don't demand a trade, don't demand a more money, just play it out. When a lot of times the teams, and that's what would be said with these agents and players, will say, hey, these teams don't do the same for us. Sometimes they cut us or get rid of us before our contracts are over. So, that's why I always say, like, when it comes to money type of thing, I don't go that, hopefully my thing is, who would you rather extend? Like, I don't want to lose Connor Williams. Don't fix what's not broken. He did damn good at center. I think he should be center this coming season with Tua. That's 2 years. If Tua didn't play the same center for the years he's been as the Dolphins quarterback, he hasn't had the same offensive coach. He's going into this season with the same offensive coach, the same coach in Mike McDaniel. He needs to go into the same season with the same center. So, yes, you got to make Connor Williams happy. He's played like a top player in that position. But here's where it's sticky.
Yeah.
How does it affect your conversation, your talks with Christian Wilkins? And then it becomes, okay, well, if it does affect, and let's say, hey, man, I can't pay both, who would you rather have? It already is a precedent, though. Can't set a precedent. Feds have to be careful how they handle this. It is a precedent, though. They did it with Xavier Howard. 2 years in a row, they updated his contract because he wasn't happy that another guy on another team got paid more money than he did. So it already is a precedent. Binge, Backing Up Binge podcast.
Yeah, but my thing is, Bobby, he had one great year.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
It's one thing if you sign with a team for a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
You do well 1 year, you do well the next year, and they usually pay you. That's usually
fair.
Pay to
That's
stay
fair.
Once you've done that. He's had one good year, and the rest of it's been sloppy, and basically the Cowboys didn't want him. Okay? Now you have one good year at center, which they moved you to center, which probably helped your game because everybody else was so bad they were getting through everywhere else.
You know what? And I'm going to be very honest. That is a very fair counter and argument that and I could get on board with that. It's like, hey, you're 2 years. You're going to be 2 years in. You've only played one good year. Play it out. Let's see how you do next year. And they might just do enough to make them happy, but not enough to kill them. Hey, we'll go ahead and extend you for another season, and here's this extra money. Play this out, and we'll go ahead and or here, let's give you an extra 1-year deal. Do something like that. But I agree with you. I'm down with that. If they go with that argument, I'm with you. Now, here's the thing: we don't have a lot of centers. Our defensive line is one of our strengths. Zach Sealer. We could go through the whole list. Of course, Christian Wilkins, but Wilkins is waiting. So, but who would you rather, if you had to give the money, if we didn't have enough to re-sign both or extend both? Both could play this year. It's not like we're going to lose. They're not going to play unless they both hold out for the whole season, which they're not going to. But if you had to, who would you?
I would pay Christian Wilkins.
Okay.
Hands down. No doubt. Christian Wilkins would get paid, and Connor Williams would be told, you show us 2 years, we'll show you the money.
Because that's where it is, too. It's Christian Wilkins has showed us consecutively what he's been.
Exactly.
He's earned that right for how many years he's been with Miami and how he's played compared to Connor Williams, who's played 1 year of very good football at that position. It's like, no, dude, it has to be 2 years of very good
football. Because I guess we're kind of playing imaginary GM right now is what we're doing, right?
But as fans, I mean, you got to think about it. Okay, would I rather go in and let's say if it's a holdout situation, what do we complain about every year, Fish Tank, with the Dolphins? What's one
the offensive line?
Offensive line. So let's say
offensive line and
you're
linebackers.
Sitting there. Exactly.
Don't forget the linebackers.
I never forget about the linebacker. But you're sitting there at that home game this coming season with season tickets. You're sitting there. And Christian Wilkins, he got paid. He's there. You see him. He's doing his normal dancing and having fun and, living it up. He's the heart of the team. He's the one who keeps it all going. Yeah. Then you go to the offensive line and Tua comes out with that offensive line and it's Michael Dieter or Feely, Dan Feeney, whoever he is, coming out to play center. I'm feeling a little queasy. I'm a little nervous compared to having Connor Williams at center, who showed what he could do last season. So that's where it becomes a sticky situation where it's like, hey, I know, and I'm not, I don't want to lose Christian Wilkins or want him to hold out, but it's like, I know that if Christian Wilkins was out of the game, our defensive line is still going to be good. Still going to be okay.
Eichenberg knows how to snap the ball. Throw him in there.
Who?
Eichenberg,
yeah. Oh, well, they tested him. They're testing him out. That's true. You never know. Hey, if they turned Connor Williams into a top 5 center, maybe they find Connor. Okay. All right. We're trusting the coaching
staff.
The
guy had one good year. I understand he wants to get paid, but guess what? One good year does not anoint you a whole bunch of money unless you were already getting a decent paycheck before, and now you want to add on to that like an Xavier Howard type deal. But that isn't the way it went. He had one good year. You got to at least have 2.
Understood. All right. And, again, Dolphin fans are aware, if you're following Miami, if you're following social media, everybody's
up,
aware
Hammer time.
What's going on right now. The Miami Dolphins, it's the waiting game right now. Dalvin Cook, who they've been attached to all offseason, maybe a little more. He's finally released by the Minnesota Vikings. They tried to trade him. The Dolphins tried to trade for him last season. I believe it was back in, or even last season, but it had been before in March, before the draft. They tried to trade for him. Didn't work out. They drafted Devin A-Chain. But now he's cut. They cut him. They couldn't find a trade partner. Now there's a lot of rumors. You go with the Denver Broncos, and I've seen the Jets out there, but there's always one team that keeps coming up top of that list, and that's the Miami Dolphins. And if you look at Dalvin Cook's social media, a lot of it points to the Miami Dolphins. So it's all about the money at this point. I just want to throw this out here, Fish Tank. First off, I believe Miami is absolutely interested. I believe that Miami are going to, and I'm sure they are discussing signing him. I don't think that if it becomes a bidding war, I can't see Miami overpaying. I think Miami's like, hey, we got our guys. We're comfortable. Now, we could add this luxury piece to our team, and it is a luxury piece, and it's a damn good piece, and I am 1,000% on board bringing him in. And then look, I'm not knocking A-Chain. I'm very excited about A-Chain, but I giggle when I see Dolphin fans on Twitter, social media, YouTube, wherever you want to go, saying, hey, man, we have A-Chain. We don't need Dalvin Cook. I say this respectfully.
And those are 2 completely different backs.
Well, and I say it respectfully, Fish Tank.
I mean, I like
Hey, look,
I love speed. You know me with speed. I always want speed, Bob.
The reason why it makes me giggle is not, A-Chain could be a great player. He could be a very good player, but we don't know that. We don't know. He could be we don't know. We know what Dalvin Cook is. For 4 seasons
13
straight, had over 1,000 yards.
1,300 yards he's had.
Yeah. Well, look, 2019, 1,100 yards. 2020, 1,500 yards, almost 16. 21, 1,100. 22, 1,100. 8 touchdowns last year. In 2020, he had 16 touchdowns. Look, he's one of the top backs in the NFL, but we're going to go off the mystery of the rookie running back. who might be good. He might be good. We know this guy is good, but there's guys who don't want to sign Dalvin Cook in Dolphin land, the Dolphin Twitterverse, because they believe he may be good. We're going to stunt his growth. We don't know his growth. We don't know nothing
Bobby,
about him.
Look how many of our backs got hurt last year.
Exactly.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So my cap, I was talking with Evan yesterday, and him and I actually said the same number. My cap for signing Dalvin Cook is $7 million. I'm comfortable with $7 million for him. That's enough. And who would be the odd man out? If Miami signed Dalvin Cook, who's the odd man out? To me, obviously, I'm not going to throw Gaskin or Ahmed on there because that's easy. Out of the top three guys, I'm talking about Mozart, Wilson, A-Chain. Wilson is the odd man out, in my opinion, just because of cap reasons. After June, which it's June 10th now, you cut him or trade him, it's only a 785 cap hit, 785,000, something like that. So he's the odd man out. But that's the fun thing. If we don't get Cook for some reason, some team says, hey, we'll give you 10 million, 12 million to Cook. And he says, I want to play for Miami, which he's shown. But he says, I'd rather follow the money. Okay. Would I be disappointed? No. I mean, hey, I would love to have him. But you know what? I'm happy with what we got. I am happy with Mozart and Wilson and A-Chain. I'm happy to see what A-Chain could do, but I know what I have in Mozart. I've seen what he can do when healthy. I've seen what Wilson can do.
When healthy.
When healthy. That's the biggest thing. When healthy.
And that's why you need Dalvin Cook. Not for any other reason. You need him just so that you have a healthy, good running back all the time.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can't throw everything on a rookie necessarily. Hey, he might go through preseason and just jump off the charts and them say, hey, you know what? We have a Dalvin Cook. That might happen. But far and few between does that just pop up and happen, especially with running backs nowadays because they're so concentrated on throwing the ball.
And here's the thing, a lot of teams got thrown out there. The Steelers, the Jets, the Broncos. That was the first team that got thrown out there as soon as he got cut.
They still say is big into it, I thought.
Well, Adam Schefter came out as soon as Dalvin Cook was released and said the Dolphins and the Broncos are the teams to watch. Another team may come in.
Okay.
But another report came out. I don't know if it was from Schefter or a Broncos reporter that said, no, Broncos are not in on Dalvin Cook. So the more I see, the more I see teams not saying they're interested. The Steelers are in on Chase Young, but not on Dalvin Cook from a source of SB Nation. So the more teams continue to drop off is good news for Miami. Because then Miami could offer him and I'm not saying a disrespectful, cheap contract, but a more conservative contract.
He's already got $5 million guaranteed, doesn't he?
$2 million. I think it's $2
million. All right.
Yes,
so build off the $2 million. He wanted 10. That makes it 8. We save you a discount by you coming to Florida, like you said, 6 to 7.
Absolutely. Compared to you go to somewhere like New York, where I don't know why Jet fans are so hyped. I saw one Jets fan type on there. I have a Twitter. I don't know how much people take him seriously, but he was like, Dalvin Cook is torn between the Jets and the Dolphins. The Dolphins don't have a good quarterback. The Jets have a legitimate franchise quarterback. Blah blah blah. It's like, what are you talking about? Have you seen the Miami Dolphins? And stop making it about the quarterback. This team is bigger than the quarterback. Who doesn't want to play? If you want to talk about Tua, let's take Tua out of it for a second. First off, or just because, if you want to let's take Tua out of the offense for a second.
All right.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, whoever you have at running back. Okay. Chosen Anderson, the tight ends. This is a very highly talented offensive team. You could put any quarterback with that Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill saying he's going to go for 2,000 yards this year with Tua at quarterback. And we're going to talk about that. Is that even possible? We're going to touch on that. But let me just tell you, trust me, Dalvin Cook, first off, it's our home. It's his he's been wanting to play for Miami. His brother James wanted to play for Miami before being drafted by the Buffalo Bills. A lot of Jet fans, I understand why you're excited as a Jets fan. I get it. Despite his drop in play, he's still Aaron Rodgers. You still got a very talented team, but your team is more than likely going to implode, not off play, but off personalities. There's a lot riding on you guys this season. So, and I think players realize that.
Everybody just overlooks Miami. I love it.
And that's fine. That's fine. But let me say, I said let's overlook Tua. I want to give Tua some flowers, though.
Okay.
Because I said that in regards of how just the offense without him. We know he's a huge part of this offense. We saw that last season when he came out, how it did. Okay.
I like Evan's post. Give him $2 million.
Robbie Chosen.
A year, $12 million.
2 year, $12
$10 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Chosen, bro.
Chosen Anderson. Robbie Chosen. I thought it was Chosen Anderson.
He changed
Robbie
his name.
Chosen.
He wanted to be called Chosen, so he changed his name legally.
So, the heck was I at here? Oh, Tua. I want to give him flowers. No, because that whole situation.
Yeah.
Went down with one of part of the Dolphins community, Eric Carmona, who passed away tragically last week, and the Dolphins community came together, not just in regards of support, not just in donations, which was huge. They went over 100,000, which is amazing for his family, but just in support in general, shares, retweets, condolences, etc. You got to give him credit, to Big E, to Sorty, to all those guys that put in the work. And I know I'm missing some to do what they did for that young man's family was awesome. But the team in general, people coming out. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of bigger names come out that have put it money where their mouth is, basically, and threw in support. But Tua comes in, who Eric obviously was a diehard fan of, created Tuanon, did the videos, which are creative and fun, and it was such a mystery until he released who he was. And for Tua to come out and put $10,000, and I saw some people say only $10,000, only $10,000. That's $10,000.
Yeah,
Tua gave $10,000 of his money to that man's family. I mean,
that's the equivalent of you and me giving $100 is what people think.
That's true.
And it's not. It's not, though, because he's got a family that he needs to take care of, and living in Hawaii is expensive. And that's where the young man's from. So, of course, that's where he's going to live. Well, he's going to go back to his home if that's what he wants. I'm just saying, just because you have it, you don't just always throw it away for everything.
No, it's still money. It's still $10,000.
It's a lot of money. $10,000.
Exactly. It is a lot of money. And even if he has millions, I don't care. There's guys I saw there with millions of dollars that gave $1,000. It's still the money that for that family. It's support. It's
I can't believe you read someone said that.
Yeah. Well, talking about what someone said, and I don't want to get too much into it.
That's just sad. That's sad.
Well, I don't want to get too much into it, but Evan brings it up about Chris Sims. Look, I'm not going to get too much into what Chris Sims said, but what I will say is I know he made a donation. But
somebody did in the name of Chris Sims, yes.
Yeah, somebody did in his name. But you know what? I said it there, man. He's softer than a box of Kleenex. Look, everybody gets trolled, especially when you do things. You could be, Chris Sims is all the way up here when he comes to.
He's trolling a fan base. And he's trolling a quarterback.
Let me just say this in regards to trolling, because he was very sensitive about trolling. Fish Tank, he's up here in broadcast. He's on Pro Football Talk. We're down here. We do our social media. We do YouTube. We're on the Fit Talk Sports Network. We have a lot of fun. But even you and I on our low totem poles get trolled a lot. But I have fun with it. You go at it. You were like, come at me, bro. Where I'm more like, whatever. I do the little Scott Hall gif and have fun with it. I could care less. This guy is very butthurt over the trolling that.
Well, that's what he gets.
Well, but it's like, But it's not about that anymore. It's like, dude, this young man passed away, and maybe you're not a fan of this young man, but what about his kids and his wife? It wasn't about
Don't knock because somebody
you.
else donated.
Yeah,
period.
it's he was like, oh, the Dolphins, the shows the Dolphins support things like that, talking about trolling. Dude, it's not about supporting trolling. It was about that family and showing support towards them. What you should have said was, hey, look, we had our disagreements. You don't talk about it's a sad
I have
thing.
him ranked 21, and I'm really dumb, but
you talk about Tua. And there's a lot more things to be mad about Chris Sims, but it gave him a real bad look. And I used to
that didn't look good on him at all.
I never really cared enough to worry about it. I would I'm not defend but I'll just say, hey guys, come on, he played for the NFL. He might know more than what he's talking about, obviously. Because a lot of people, oh, you were trashing the NFL. Hey, he still played in it. You got to give him his due. Maybe he knows something, but he showed his true side. First of all, he's a spoiled brat. So you could tell when he keeps looking down and going, well, they were mean to me. And it's like, dude, what? And, and then you talk about the 21 ranked Tua, which doesn't make any sense. And, you go, hey, maybe it's just his opinion. But when you see that, and then you see what he said, and then the way he talks about it's like, oh, I see your true colors now. I see who you are.
it was beyond normal, and
Yeah, it was weird. It was just wrong, dude.
Like
even
I said,
Florio did not want to hear that one. Yeah.
His dad's another big one. He's on CBS or NBC.
Phil Simms. But Phil Simms
or one of those.
Yeah.
And his dad, I know for a fact his dad did not instill that in him, because his dad's a class act the whole way.
That's why it shocked me when I was watching that, when I saw it started getting released. I was shocked because I've never seen, I never would think someone would say that on that platform at that time. Why do you think your feelings, your butthurt feelings over being trolled, is bigger than supporting this young man's family? It wasn't about you, dude. Yeah. It's about getting the word out, going, hey, people are donating. They're caring for this family. Tua gave $10,000. That's what it's about. Not about, oh, he was mean to me. Like, come on, dude. Like, I know they took out your spleen after playing football, but you can't be that soft. I mean, you're softer than a box of Kleenex, brother. I mean, come on, man.
Whoa,
Bobby, come on, dude.
You don't usually get that personal.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it bothered me. It's just like, dude, something. Did no one teach you manners? Like what? Did no one teach you how? Even if you didn't like somebody, like you could totally hate someone.
You can hate that person. You don't got to be a mouth like that.
Well, if something happened to that person, you may dislike that person, but you go, damn, that's a shame, dude. He had kids. He had a wife. I'm praying for them. I feel so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I don't wish that on my worst enemy. But no, you had to make it about you. You had to make it about you.
Yeah, it was totally unnecessary.
I didn't want to get too much into it, but we got into it, but it's okay. But I'm just glad. I'm just proud of Miami Dolphin fans. I'm proud of the Miami Dolphins. I'm proud that Tua represents our football team. After seeing that, how you could say whatever you want about him as a quarterback, as a player, for his health, whatever, but you can't say nothing about that dude as a person. And if you could be questionable on him as your franchise quarterback, but you better be damn proud he's your quarterback representing your team based off that alone. He puts his money where his mouth is. He didn't need to do that, but he did. And that goes for anybody. Tyreek Hill, that goes for the Dolphin fans. Garfunkel, as well. A lot of people came out, and that tells you may not like them on their profession, but them as a person, where they stand as a person now. Where they stand. Yeah. Anthony Manzano in the house. Good to see you. My friend's grandmother, when I used to visit them, would always tell me if I had nothing good to say, but someone don't say it at all. Yeah, exactly. He could have just said, it's a tragedy. I feel for his family, and then just shut up.
Yeah.
No one needs to hear all that extra stuff. No one needs it. No one needs to worry about you got butt hurt. It's about those kids. It's about that wife, that young wife who needs to raise those children now. It's about that, dude. It's not about your feelings. Get your feelings the hell out of it. Nobody gives a damn. You're a grown-ass man. Grow up.
Exactly.
Stop it.
Man, he's just jelly. He's jelly.
God, his butt hurt. Anyway.
He's jealous.
Hey, 2K Hill. He almost went, at one point last season, he almost went for it. Tyreek Hill says his goal is to become the first 2,000-yard receiver next season.
Yes.
He almost did it last season. Then he kind of dropped off a little bit with injuries. Not to him, but for everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you think he could do it next year? Do you think it's possible?
He only has to average 118 yards a game. This guy is average. Man, if you check the games he played where he wasn't hurt, what's his average? It's above that. So, yes, he can.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. I think it is possible because he's shown he could almost do it last year. I mean, if he puts, now
he's got an extra game. That's
it's
an extra
possible.
200 yards.
Will it happen? I'm not sure, because if we did get a Dalvin Cook and we spread out that offense and make it more balanced, that's more important than going for 2,000 yards. It is possible. It could happen. I would love to see it if we're in the playoffs, if we're doing it. If we're struggling, I want to see that. I want to see a balanced attack.
Yeah, running game. He did it without knowing the offense too.
That's true. He said, Evan actually told me that. I think it was yesterday. Evan told me, he said that he didn't actually know the playbook. He just winged it.
Evan said it right here.
Did he say it?
He didn't understand the offense.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, man. So, Manzano, I'm going to make a prediction. Bobby and Hank, we trade Cedric Wilson. We signed both Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Hopkins, and move Waddle to the slot. Thoughts? Let me tell you something. If that went down, Anthony, here are my thoughts. Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl. Do I think it's realistic? No.
We're not getting D-Hop.
I don't think Hank and I would be mad about that, but I don't know.
I wouldn't be upset, but I don't think
it's not going to argue
happen.
with you. But it's awesome. That is a really cool prediction. Imagine, Cedric Wilson, the Dolphins said they want to do right by him. Hey, look, he's another one of those guys that we signed last year. And there you go. Hey, another example of what I talked about earlier, Fish Tank. We're talking about player being loyal to a deal that he signed, but Miami might trade Cedric after we send him to a 2-year deal. Just the way the business is. Players and teams do it all the time. But, could he be moved? I think it's still a possibility. Jeff Wilson is another guy we signed just this offseason. We re-signed. Might trade him if we get Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, he's visited the Titans. He's going to visit the Patriots. I do know some analysts predicted Miami. I don't know what Dalvin Cook is concrete. DeAndre Hopkins is a pipe dream. I'm not saying I would be absolutely for it because rich get richer, but I don't know how realistic it could be, Anthony. But thoughts? I would love it. Fish Tank, would you love it?
Oh, I'd be all over it.
We'd love it, right? All right, cool. Does Tyreek's statement about 2,000 yards bother you guys? Would have liked him to say my goal is to wear a ring. Let me just say that was my point. Back it up, Binge. I'm. Do I think he could do it? Yeah. If we continue to do what we did last year, yes. But it doesn't bother me for a personal goal. But again, do I think it could happen? Possible. Do I want it to happen? No. Because I want them to focus on spreading out the offense, having a balanced attack, running game, passing game, going for that championship this coming season.
Remember, balanced attacks open up big plays.
Absolutely. If you get a Dalvin Cook,
he might have
running
more
that ball,
bigger plays. He might have more bigger plays actually set up in that offense. Is all I'm saying.
Might open it up. You're absolutely right. The Dolphins realtor. I think the point is we wasted a lot of play on with Gesicki last year. We're developing a safer game to complement the deep threat. Guys, if we sign Dalvin Cook out of the top running backs, who do we cut, Wilson or Mostert? Because I think we cut. We answered that, Anthony, and it was, or at least I answered it. It's Jeff Wilson. Makes the most sense. Mostert is knows this offense like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
He's a huge part of this offense, and with Coach McDaniel, Wilson is a less of a cap hit. It went from $2 million down to $785,000, something like that. So it's Wilson, who could be traded. He's worth the trade. So I think Dolphins would try to move him, not cut him, but they could cut him and it won't hurt him. So, Xavier Howard, I want to talk about this. He says Noah Igbinoghene is locked in. He is locked in. Locked in to play better with a different mindset next season. Fish Tank, last offseason, You had predicted that.
What kind of mindset did he have last season?
I'm saying, well, last offseason, you remember you predicted that, hey, Igbo is going to have, this is going to be his year to step up. He had his first interception. That's a plus.
That wasn't what I was thinking, though.
He went, so.
That wasn't what I was thinking, Bobby. I was thinking more like.
Let me ask you, if he has a different mindset, he is committed. He's going crazy. We got Jalen Ramsey. We got Kohu. We got Trill Williams. We got Xavier Howard. We have Cam Smith. We got Igbo. Igbo has a different mindset. He's ready to go. Is it too late?
No.
Ooh, you think he could still do something?
If somebody's coming out and saying that, and they've been a decent cornerback, I'm not going to say he's the best cornerback out there because he's not. Xavier Howard is not. When healthy, that's another argument. But he does get injured. So but when healthy, he's one of the better ones out there. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and discredit the man. He's done a fabulous job. But at the same time, what direction do you really want to go, Bobby?
Yeah.
Igbo, if he's saying giving him that big of props already, hopefully it means something. That's all I can say. Hopefully it means something, but until I see it, I don't believe it.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I just want to say, I want to say this. I do want to say this, that I'm rooting for Igbo, just like I'm rooting for Austin Jackson. They got drafted really high, maybe higher than they were supposed to. So that puts a lot of pressure on them to play to a certain level. I do know, I see, Igbo's coming with a different mindset. Very cool to hear that from your Xavier Howard, your top player on defense right now.
It concerns me that there was a different mindset before, though.
Sure. Austin Jackson coming in with in shape, looking good, looking like he put in the work. I'm rooting for those guys. Do I believe they could do it? We'll see. But I'm rooting for them. If they could do well and get that bust label off, I'm down for it. But we'll have to see. We'll see. Again, the waiting game. What's going to happen with Dalvin Cook? We know Miami's interested. We know Dalvin Cook is interested. But Dalvin Cook wants to see his market, and we can let it play out. If we don't get Dalvin Cook, we're fine. I think we're all good. But if we get him, just a rich get richer. Now we need to get this, guys. I mean, we Dolphin fans, especially me. I want to be something to be excited about. I'm excited about Miami. I'm proud of the Miami sports teams. The Heat lost last night, which sucks. They're down 3-1 in the series. It's going to be very tough. They're going back to Denver. That's tomorrow night. The Panthers, they won. They're down 2-1. I want to even those series out, but let me just say how proud I am and how exciting it is for Miami sports fans right now that two of their teams are in the championship game in the series. The Dolphins are built out, be a contender for the championship. The Marlins are still a young squad, but they got a good young squad that it looks like it's trending up. Lionel Messi is coming to the Inter Miami, for soccer, Fish Tank. I mean, Miami is trending up.
Yeah.
It's trending up. I mean, think about this. Holy crap. Dolphins star player Tyreek Hill. Who would have thought that would have been our star player? Who would have thought Tyreek Hill was going to be on the Miami Dolphins anytime in your lifetime, unless you're playing Madden? Who would have thought Lionel Messi was going to play for Miami's soccer team that's only been around for so many odd years? Didn't
he turn down like $1.6 billion or something like that?
With Barcelona because Adidas came out and gave him a deal. A lot of people came together to bring him to Miami. Is gonna, you got Jimmy on the Heat, you got Tyreek, you got, it just in general, but just the vibes on these squads. Fish Tank. Yes, I know you're mainly Dolphins, brother, but let me just tell you, it is damn good. It feels damn good to be a Miami sports fan right now. Dolphin fans have just as much to be excited about as Miami Heat, Panthers, Inter Miami, Marlins, as anybody else. Because
I agree.
Yeah. If you're excited about seeing the 8th seed Panthers and the 8th seed Heat in the NBA and in the Stanley Cup final, be prepared to be ultra excited about this Miami Dolphins football team in the second year under McDaniel, built the way it is. These guys look ready. I'm more excited about this team than I was last year. Fish Tank knows this. When everybody had him going 13 and whatever, I had 10-7. Of course, I was wrong. It was 9-8. They still have some holes. We talked about linebacker. There are still things. Vic Fangio has stated about the defense. Yeah. So it is to take it with a grain of salt. But I'm excited about this team, as all the Dolphin fans should be. If you're a Miami sports fan, holy crap! It's a great time to be a Miami sports fan. Manzano says, Bobby, I'm going to give you Messi's contract. He's getting 25% revenue from the streaming deal with Major League Soccer and Apple. Wow. 75% revenue from Adidas. You see that? And then 35% ownership of Inter Miami.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? Good. That dude is the best player in the world, one of the greatest.
You know what that would be like? That would be like Tom Brady saying, yeah, I want to own 35% of the Patriots.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right, cool.
You do it. All right, you do it. Thank you, Anthony. The contract is from, according to Athletic, ESPN, Barstool, Bleacher. So basically everybody. So that's great. So that is awesome. Thank you, Anthony.
Cool.
So all I'm saying is, if we get Dalvin Cook, that's just more to be excited about. But even without him, guys, Dolphin fans, it's a damn good time to be a Dolphin fan. There's so much excitement in the air. It's legitimate excitement. It's not like, when we signed Trent Green and then we hired Cameron and everybody was so excited about this and all this. I'm just saying, it's not Chad Henne and all, we're gonna do it. No, this Bobby, is a legitimate excitement.
You know what breeds the excitement though?
What?
We had a number 6 ranked offense last year. Number 6. And that's with a crappy line. That's with our best wide receiver not knowing the plays. That's with our quarterback hurt. That's with our defense decimated. We got into defense. I was doing offense. Defense got decimated later, and they were 25th. Now, average move up from Vic Fangio's scheme is 10 slots, so that's 15 at least. But I see our defense not being as decimated and doing a better job. The question is, do we have enough depth?
That's the issue. I agree with you.
That's the only issue, and it's on defense, though. It's not on offense. So that's where I'm not concerned. It's on defense right now, but our top players will do a great job. And, you're going to have somebody that's going to need to step in at some point in time or another. We all know that. Just hopefully it's not nose tackle or linebacker.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, my goodness. So just a lot of fun. Fish Tank, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to discuss before we wrap this up?
No. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Hopefully you folks had a good time, and I appreciate all the information you folks give me every time, man. Every time I look over here, you folks have it down, especially Anthony today, man. Fins up. I appreciate you.
Everybody tuning in, thank you. As always, this is Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Tune in. We got a lot of great content on here. We've added hockey. We got football. We got basketball. We got wrestling. It's so much going on, but nothing better. I don't want to say nothing better. I don't want to not throw anybody. I'm not doing that. But
thanks for tuning in, Evan, even though you're not supposed to be.
He's driving. I don't know what he's doing. But Evan, everyone tuning in. Hammer Time, Dolphins Realtor, Back It Up Binge Podcast, Anthony Manzano, Ender, everyone tuning in. Thank you all. You're watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Check us out next Saturday. Hopefully we're celebrating or excited about a Dalvin Cook signing. If there's a Dalvin Cook signing, could be a breaking news special episode with some of the guys. But we'll see.
You never know.
We'll see. All right, guys. Later. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, as always, Fins up.
Fins up.